Hello. Welcome to our new segment that we're starting today.
Yes.
It's a brand new one.
You're like, why are Mariya and Joanne here
yes,
today?
we're in trouble.
No, we have something very exciting that we're going to start as part of Independence today. We are going to start a new segment called Advocates in Motion, and we are going to feature one of our wonderful advocates each month. And we want that person to kind of tell their story and to offer tips, I guess you could say, for advocacy and to share, what's important to them and how they got involved in the advocacy movement. One of the things that we talked about in the past is, there's been a lot of advocacy movements like, the Olmstead Act, and I think today's advocates don't really have a good, solid foundation as to why it's important to advocate for important topics or how to advocate. We do have a self-advocacy group here that some of our consumers belong to. And that is what they have learned through video series on advocacy. And it talks about the history of advocacy as well as some tips to say what would you do, how to contact your legislator, who is your legislator, locating that. So, like I said, we're going to start this series. I asked Mariya because she was available, but most of all, Mariya is a wonderful advocate, not only in your job, but is in life.
Yeah.
And so we're going to learn a little about Mariya and her life story, if you will, and to to show people how you got started in this movement.
And advocacy starts when you're young and throughout your whole life. So,
yeah. So what would you like to share as far as like your story, Mariya? I mean, like if somebody never met you, like where did it start? Where did it all begin?
Okay, well for me, I was born in Madras, India, and I contracted polio, which means my muscles aren't working as well. I can't jump, skip, or run, but I can feel everything in my legs and upper whatever. But I had to learn at a young age to crawl because my legs weren't working. I had to learn, like, if I wanted something, I have to learn how to do it myself because there won't be a lot of help that in my younger age when I was in the orphanage. It's a lot of other kids that have disabilities or worse off or not worse off, but it was always a survival thing for me to be an advocate for myself because it's the things I need in life. So I learned from a very young age, if you want to get over there, well, you yourself have to make sure you can get there.
Right.
So I would crawl on the ground, I would use crutches, whatever was available for me, I make sure I can do that.
Right. So just to allow yourself the movement and to, be a part of the whole idea of, wanting to belong in an environment of kids that are running, playing, doing whatever.
So that was the first stage of my life, being in an orphanage and knowing that I wanted to do something and advocate for myself, as in just living every day, you know what I mean? Then I got adopted to a wonderful mother, Patricia, and she adopted me when I was 5. So coming from, this is the story I like to tell everyone because it's true. I came from an airplane, so we call it Airplane Day. The day I came on an airplane and I met my adopted sister and my mom there. So just from being from India, then traveling to a state or a country I don't know.
Sure.
And then learning things from that was a big struggle for me. Mentally, I was like very confused, obviously, so I had to have therapy. I had to have like a lot of transition things to help me, integrate into the USA. So that was hard.
So that was also an obstacle for you.
Yes.
But at the same time,
Yeah.
You have a mom
Yes.
and a sister,
Yes.
you know, that
Mhm.
was your new family.
Yes.
And welcomed you into their
Yeah.
environment and
And big
became a family.
Mhm.
And I think that's a wonderful story.
Yeah.
I think that's
Mhm.
awesome.
Yes.
Do you feel comfortable talking a little bit about your mom?
Yeah, sure. She is a college professor, or was. She passed away almost a year and a half ago in March. And she was a very strong-headed, independent woman. So that's where I get my basis of I want to be a strong, independent woman.
I think she did well.
Thank you. From her, because she never like saw us. Yes, she saw us as a disabled person, but she still saw us as a person.
Right.
So she
She
wanted
never
to.
limited you or
Yeah,
anything like
yeah.
that.
Oh, you're my disabled child.
Right,
I'm gonna
right.
protect you. But there was always a borderline of overprotection, and but in my earlier years, she's like, "Oh, you got this. You can do this." She didn't want people.
She always encouraged
Yes.
you to try different things.
Yeah, and she wanted us to do it on our own, to figure it out. Yes, she was there to help, but more of she wanted the mentality of you need to figure it out.
Right.
This is your life. How are you
Right.
going to do it?
Right.
So,
I think that's awesome.
one example is like, there was a steep hill and I hated it because she wasn't helping me, and then she was like, "You can do it, you can do it," and then she'd be behind me, giving me assistance but not pushing me. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
So that would make me like agitated. Like, why isn't she just pushing me? Well, no, she didn't want me to just get the easy way out.
Right.
She wanted me to learn this is hard,
Sure.
but you can do it.
Right.
And the struggle's hard too,
Right.
but you can do it.
Yeah.
So I got up that hill and I was like,
Yeah.
but and then the end of it, I'm like, oh, I did it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
But she
how
was
it's
there.
very for yourself to
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
I did
yeah.
this and I was able to do it
Yeah.
on my own.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she was there, but she wasn't doing it for me. And that's a piece of, I think that's my mindset. Don't do it for me, let me do it myself.
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
So she's always put that in my mind, and a lot of her working ethics have instilled in me.
Mhm.
I always want to do my best. I always want to make sure I'm early for things. But besides that, she just told me and like let me learn independency is the best,
Right.
the best tool you can have, and that's how I live. my
That's
life right
wonderful.
now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
mhm.
Can you tell me a time like, okay, so you're 5 years old,
Mhm.
and I would think you would start school right
Yes,
away.
Yeah. I didn't know any English,
okay,
so I
right.
had to go to an English learning school. So I had
Right.
2 schools.
Right.
I had a preschool and then another school.
Mhm.
So then I went to kindergarten. I had a kindergarten, but then after school I would work on my therapy, my speech, and
Sure.
things like that.
Sure.
So I'm always in school, and I was always learning, which was really hard because like I had learning disabilities. I had lead in my bones, which led to that, and like so comprehending things was very hard for me.
Sure.
And it was like it took a while.
Right.
I didn't do well in school, but I was able to finish it. But
Right.
it was just hard for me in school.
Right. Do you think that, now what year is this when you started school?
We're
We're going to give away your age now, right?
We don't know.
So this is maybe the early 80s or
Yeah.
90s?
90s, yes. I was
Okay.
born, I was adopted in, I think I want to say 97.
Okay.
March 27th, 1997
Okay.
is when I was
So
adopted.
what do you think, like, was the school accepting of, were there other people with disabilities? Let's put it that way.
Well, the
In
only
school.
2 people in school in elementary were my sister and I.
Okay?
So there was no any other like disabled children
Right, right.
to like, oh, I can go hang out with them.
Right.
So making friends was very hard because I was different. So like some days I would have to, eat with the teachers or like, be by myself because
Right.
I wasn't really accepted yet.
Right, right.
There was, I like to tell this story because it's like, it sounds harsh on the person who did it, but in the same time, it's more of, oh, she can do it, then now I can be friends with her because I know
Right.
she can do it.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
So the story I'm talking about is when I was on a playground, I was on the swings and I had my crutches next to me. A girl took my crutches and put them on the other side of the
Oh,
playground
Yeah.
and said, go get them. And I had my leg braces on.
Mhm.
So I was like, I don't know. I think I had my leg braces on, maybe not. But either way, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try. I'm gonna try it and show you that I can do it.
Mhm.
So I piled on and I did a little few steps towards my crutches.
Mhm.
And from then, we were friends. But
Right.
it was more like, oh, you're so mean.
Right,
But
it
at
was
the
a
same
mean
time,
thing, but she was
yeah.
almost challenging you,
Yeah.
like, I wanna see if you can
Yeah.
do it.
And let's see where your
Yeah.
strength is.
Yeah.
Trying to do
So
things.
do you think that friendship was a difficult situation, like you mentioned, like, okay, you became friends with this girl, but she started off kind of mean,
Yeah.
abusing
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
But, like, do you think that that was an obstacle?
It
Like,
was,
just because you think kids,
Yeah. Yeah.
are curious
Right.
and, oh, that, like you said, that's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
It's not the somewhat norm.
Yeah.
Do you think that there was something that you did? Do you think watching you do the things that you did, like you said, created a difference, like an acceptance of who you were?
I guess later on in life it did when I started in sports.
Mhm.
When I got the connection to sports, then I can show my friends at school or friends in general that, hey, I can do this stuff. I can
Right.
still play sports,
Right,
but I do
right.
it differently.
Do it differently.
Right. It is still
adapt it.
sport.
Yep,
You know what I
yep,
mean?
yep.
Just because I do it different doesn't mean it's not
I love that.
competition
Yeah.
or a sport or whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. I can still be a part of it.
Yeah.
So then I did skiing. So that was like that one and basketball. But skiing was really cool because, I get to do slalom courses and I did that for a long time. And I
Wow.
did well in that.
That's
And
awesome.
I got too cold.
Yeah.
I didn't like the snow when I got older, so it was fine.
Right.
But then basketball, track and field, my sister was my first gate opener to seeing that you could do things because she started
She
doing
tried it,
sports.
yes.
And of course, being a little sister,
Right.
I want to be like my sister.
Right, right.
So I started joining sports and doing that. Then that's what the world opened for me when I started doing sports.
Sure.
It opened my eyes to oh, you're not the only disabled person, which I knew,
Right.
but I didn't know the extent of how many different disability there
Right.
is, and how people with no limbs are doing
Sure,
sports.
yeah,
And
yeah.
oh wow, I
Right.
thought I had it
Right, yeah,
rough.
that's
And,
really a challenge.
that's crazy. And seeing that they don't think it as inspiring, or it's an everyday living thing,
It's just,
they do
it's
it.
just something
They just
they
do it.
wanna do and
Yeah.
they do it.
and they do it.
Yeah,
They figure it out. They figure out how to do it. If they need items to do it, they have a set goal of, I'm going to continue my life.
Right.
This isn't a life sentence of, oh, I have a disability.
Right,
It's just
exactly.
I have a disability. Let me continue my life.
right.
So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more, like you got involved with basketball. I know you were
Yeah.
a star.
Yeah.
But I mean, was it through school or what,
Yeah.
where did you join different
Well,
sports?
my school didn't have any kind of sports.
Okay.
Not until high school when they let you join track and field.
Okay,
But there was a big battle for that.
Yeah.
They had to go to court to say, not for me, but general people who were disabled,
okay,
they want to participate in the high school field track
Right.
and meetings and
Right.
stuff. And there was a girl named Tatiana McFadden, and she is a fantastic Paralympian racer, and she can do 100 meters in 30 seconds. Kind of
Oh,
thing.
wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how fast
Yeah.
she is. And she actually stood up for that, and they got him to let us do track and field.
right,
So, which is great.
Yeah.
And we did like it. And you know what? It was so weird because the people watching was they didn't know. They didn't know, what is that?
this is the first time they
Yes.
ever saw something
Yes.
like that.
So being gawked at,
Yeah.
that was a little oh, okay, a little weird.
Right, not knowing what to expect,
Yeah,
but
but
at
at
the
the
same
same
time, this is
time-
different.
Yeah, and at the same time, we were showing them it's okay.
Absolutely.
And this is how
Yeah.
we do things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So a lot of people they're wow, that's pretty cool.
Right.
And then they started opening up to oh, they can do other things, blah, blah, blah.
right, right,
So track and field was the first one that
Okay.
I was able to join in on my high school team.
mhm,
And then, but in elementary, no sports, no teams.
wow,
We had to find it outside of school.
right, so outside of
Yeah,
school or
yeah.
whatever you could see.
Children's Specialized Hospital in New Jersey, they opened and told us, hey, there's activities for
Okay.
join. So we had to find it,
Sure,
but once we found it, thank God.
Right.
Because it just opened our whole world up.
that's awesome, I love that.
So, yeah.
Okay, so we've got you to high school, okay, and you're doing sports. And then you graduate eventually,
Yes.
and then you decide that you're gonna go to college.
Yes.
And where did you go to college?
Well, well, the first time that I went to college, I wanted all the freedom in the world. I just
Right.
wanted to leave. I wanted to get
You
out of
wanted your
Jersey.
independence,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So
Spread your wings,
So the
yeah.
state I picked was Wisconsin.
Okay,
And
great.
I was like, oh God, why? But I did that. The reason I went to Wisconsin because they have a really good basketball program.
Okay,
Whitewater.
Mhm.
And so I was there for a year and a half. But then I realized it was too big for me. Like the settings was too big, the classrooms,
okay,
and I was overwhelmed.
right,
I couldn't handle all of the bigness and
Yeah.
just all of the new things of a new
right.
state.
Well, I
So-
think that goes with the territory of that age.
Yeah.
And going to college, like you're like,
Yeah.
where am I?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I knew that I wasn't gonna really succeed there only because of my academics wasn't great. And my mentality was, I was terrified of the
Mhm.
bigness.
Sure,
So,
oh, sure.
I decided to transfer out of there and go to Edinburgh University.
Okay,
Now, Edinburgh has always been in my life for like richer basketball, like summer camps and things like that.
mm-hmm,
So that's also where I met a lot of people. So I came back to PA, and that's where I've been.
right. And then you graduated college and you got your degree.
Yes.
And then what was your like first step as far as work?
I had a mental breakdown
Okay.
because I was like, okay, well, I'm out of college and my
Right.
sister's doing great at a job. Now
Right,
I
now
have
what?
to find
Yeah,
a job. So,
yeah.
but this was a time in my life where I was like, I don't want to be on Social Security.
Right,
I want to earn my own money.
yeah,
And so I researched how do I get off of it? You know, you have to find a job, blah, blah, blah.
right,
So I did that, but like for a long, long time, I was in self-doubt that I couldn't find a job.
right.
Like who would want to hire me? Who would want
Right.
me? Like all those bad thoughts were in my head
Sure.
because I was scared no one was going to see me besides being a lady in a wheelchair.
Exactly.
And that was my biggest fear. So, like, you know, I tried. I went to a couple of jobs here. There was one called Brainsoft, which I
Mhm.
wasn't a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got into H&R Block doing a receptionist job.
Okay,
And I really liked it. I like being
Mhm.
on the computer because I like talking on the phone with people and meeting people. I really like that. So I was
Mhm.
like, well, how can I be involved with more people? I want to be able to help them. I
Right.
want to be able to do things.
Right.
So I put a request out for here, and I didn't see it the couple of days when they responded because, like most emails, they go in spam.
right,
So,
right.
3 days later, I'm like, oh my gosh, can I please have this job? And I was begging I was bugging the HR lady, oh, can I come in, blah, blah, blah.
Right, right,
Finally, she gave me an interview and I met everyone here.
right,
And that just opened my eyes to like, you can do so much for people just
Right.
by staying at
Right.
an office. You know what I
right,
mean?
exactly.
So yeah, that really opened up.
So
my-
it's actually really, I mean, I hate to say it like this, but you really found the perfect job for
I-
you.
yes.
Because A, as you said, you love helping
Yes,
people.
I do.
B, you're a wonderful advocate for not only yourself, but it was like part of your mission.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like, it's your makeup,
Right,
you
yeah.
know? So tell us a little bit about what's your position here and,
Okay.
and what you do.
All right, well, I am an independent living specialist.
Mhm. Good job.
I've been here for 5 years, so
Mhm.
it'll be 6 in February, which
Right.
is crazy.
Right,
But ever since I worked here, I've made so many connections to helping people out with housing,
Yes,
advocacy,
yes, yes.
benefits. I really do love my job
Yeah.
because I get to talk to people. I get to talk to them on their best days, their worst days.
exactly.
And I get to walk them, like back them off that cliff a little bit.
Mhm.
Like, hey, I understand that things are crazy, but there are options.
Yep,
And you don't see the options right now because
Right.
you're in your head.
right,
And trust me, I've been in my own head. So
exactly.
let me give you A, B, and C, and let's figure out how to go forward.
Exactly.
And sometimes it's not a major thing.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, I need help filling out something. Oh, got it, let's schedule you in.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And I think you, as a support person,
Yes.
you know, you know how to
Maneuver.
maneuver
Yeah.
every, you know, program that's
Yeah.
out there, or
Yeah.
you know a lot of resources,
Yes.
or you, like you just said, you know, sometimes it's just sharing an example of maybe what you experienced to show somebody
Yeah.
that they can get through this
Yeah.
or do something else.
And let me tell you, before I worked here, I have never heard of a Center for Independent Living.
Right, right.
I never knew
Yeah.
that every state has one.
Exactly,
Or every state has
exactly.
resources.
Yeah.
That comes back to being a little overprotective with my mom,
Mhm.
which I love dearly, and she did
Mhm.
everything great.
Mhm.
But because I wanted to like have my independency,
Sure.
I think in the same time I need to be put out there to find it.
Right,
But also there should be more resources like, hey, we're here to help you
Right,
with it,
right.
which we are now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But if I knew at like 18, there's centers for independent
right, you could have
living,
maybe
I
sought
could have
out,
been
yeah.
more progressed,
Yeah.
more independent,
Yeah.
more in my life.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm independent now, but I wanted that since 18. You know what I
Mhm,
mean?
mhm.
But I did not know how to do that.
Right,
And places like this shows you from A to B.
exactly, like
You
has
can
the
be
resources
you
that
can be
need.
independent. What do you want to
Mhm.
do? Where do you want to live? What kind of
Mhm.
occupation do you want?
Yeah,
We can help you do that.
yeah,
And I love it.
yeah, good. Do you want to share a little bit? I'm gonna get personal now.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, okay, so where do you live? I
Okay.
mean, do you live in, do you have like a direct care worker?
Okay. Yeah,
Anything
no,
like that?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't have a direct care worker, but I probably might none of them like in my older ages. And I
Right.
keep that as a resource.
Right.
Like, okay, just because I'm turning older
yeah.
doesn't mean I have to go back to degressing.
exactly.
I'm still gonna be independent.
Sure.
Maybe I need someone to do my clothes for me.
Mhm.
Do the
I think we all
things like
need a
that.
little help sometimes
Right,
in
but it's
life,
good
you
to
know?
know that's there.
Yep,
If I didn't know, then I would think I would spiral back down into depression, like, oh, no one's gonna help me.
right, right.
So thank God I know that that's there, but for me as a independent person, I'm still gonna do what I can, like laundry,
Mhm.
clothes, cleaning. Right now, I am in a rental, but I just found out
Mhm.
August 17th is gonna be my HUD inspection.
Okay,
That means I can finally move into my house in Edinburgh. So,
right, so you bought
yes.
property, you have your own house?
Yes,
Yep.
yes, thank God to my mom who was able to help me out with that when she passed. She left me some stuff and I was able to buy property and do some mobile home transfer kind of thing. So I really want to say thank you to my mom because she didn't know that, like, I wanted to do all this in the future.
Right.
But she was always setting it up.
Sure, sure,
Not, me not knowing that, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm grateful, I am grateful for what she's given me in my life.
exactly.
And let me tell you, if I was back in India, I would not have these opportunities.
Right,
I
a
would
totally
not,
different life.
I would not be seen.
Yeah,
I would not
yeah.
be considered as a human being
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yep,
So every day I have to say thank you to her because, you know, I could be having a bad day,
mhm.
but think about where you could have been.
Exactly,
So that brings me
exactly.
back.
And you always, do things that, you set out to do, which are goals that you have and you're usually achieving them.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. And I think you're your best advocate for yourself
Mhm.
because you're like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And you just keep going.
Yeah, so it's gonna be new challenges for me being a
Sure,
homeowner.
oh, sure, yeah,
A
just like
homeowner,
anybody else,
property
yeah.
person, and it's in a rural area, so it's really putting me in there to
Right.
say, how independent are you?
Right,
Let's find out,
exactly,
you know? So
exactly,
we'll
but how
find out.
wonderful to have that opportunity to do that.
Yeah,
I want to talk a little bit about your involvement with Miss Wheelchair Pennsylvania.
yes. Mhm.
Like, how did you get involved with that,
Mhm.
and talk about your forum, like
Yeah.
what you used as a public forum
Yes.
when you were competing.
So I tried out, I found out on Facebook or someone showed me and I'm like, oh, let me try it. It was a year, I think, before my mom was sick and I wanted her to be proud of one more thing, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I tried it, I liked it. My platform on the field and off the field or whatever you want to call it is always going to be mental health issues.
Right.
Because I think I'm like the the billboard for that because any stage of your life you're going to have problems.
Sure.
And, it was hard for me to talk about it, but my platform was saying everyone has mental issues, everyone should seek help for it, and
Mhm.
what do they do? And mental health doesn't look pretty. I have mental health, and you know what I mean? It's not a size, it's not a color, it's not like how you look.
And it's individual.
And everyone
yeah.
has something.
Yeah,
You can't just be like, oh, they have it. You
Right,
can't tell.
right.
You know what I mean? And some days are great, some days are bad.
Yep.
You know, so I have to make sure I'm taking care of my mental health.
Mhm.
And I try to give that as a resource. Go find help.
Mhm.
So,
yeah,
because I think everyone needs it. You
Yeah.
know?
yeah. So as far as advocacy,
Yeah.
this is why we're doing this,
Mhm.
what do you think, what do you think that you are inspired by, or somebody in the past that you worked with that maybe showed you the ropes of advocacy? Or is there anybody that you would do a shout out to, or?
I mean,
You know.
everyone before me, like, the father of disability, the disability movements, when like they're fighting for transportation and housing.
Right,
I might not know their names, but I know what they did.
right.
And what they did for our rights and just to live, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I look up to them, for what they do, how did they do it, and where to start.
Right.
So then I'm like, okay, well, let's start this. We have to realize the issue, how can we address the issue,
Right.
go forward with it, and
Yep.
change it.
Yeah.
So that has taught me how to do that.
Good.
So, there's people out there like, what's her name? And I love her so much, Josie.
Josie,
She
yeah,
is
yeah,
my absolute favorite, and she advocates for every
Sure.
single person.
Yep.
Any kind of
Yep.
disability. Just the fact that we need to have rights
Yep.
is a major one. So,
And I think
Josie.
part of the advocacy movement is gathering other people
Yeah.
that may be facing the same challenges.
Yeah.
Or talking to each other and getting other people
Yes.
involved
Yeah.
to spread the word.
Right.
And make people aware of maybe an
Yeah.
issue
Mhm.
that, because I don't think, I think sometimes when you are in a organization,
Yes.
that the outside people maybe they're not aware
Yeah.
of an issue.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that I've been advocating, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe not doing a great job, obviously, because one of the things that has always been an issue for people with disabilities has been transportation.
Yes. Yeah.
And, I mean, I sit on the EMTA board and the Q&A board, and stuff like that, but there still is such a major issue.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this, unfortunately,
Yeah.
probably for the last 30 years, about advocating for transportation. And I'm
Yes.
not the only person there.
No. There's another, besides me, there's a lot of people who have to deal with buses
Yeah.
saying, no, I won't transport you.
Yep.
When your machine A works,
Yeah,
you have room in your bus.
right.
But you're denying me a service. Oh,
Yeah.
you should be on the other buses.
Yeah.
No, I can be
Yeah.
on this one too.
Exactly.
I don't like when people like, oh, you can be, we're all about not segregating people and
Right.
not doing that.
Right.
But we're doing that to our
E-
own
exactly.
disabled
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Go sit at this section, go
Right.
do this. No,
Right.
I want to
You can
be
only ride this
integrated.
bus,
Yeah. I
Or
wanna
just
be
the
with
availability
community.
of, I mean, there's so many, as
Yeah.
we know, there's so many, people, consumer-wise, that are in rural areas.
Yes,
And they have zero transportation.
yes,
So I mean, we're lucky a little bit in
Yeah.
Erie, but
yeah.
there's still, the availability is limited,
Or
or,
people don't know about it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's there, but
Yeah.
there's no resource about it
Yeah.
or like media about it.
Yeah.
How are they supposed to know something is there?
exactly. And when, I always find it funny is that when you speak to somebody who maybe doesn't work for a human service
Right.
agency,
Mhm.
like they'll say something and you'll tell them, some of the consumers, what they have to deal with.
Right.
And they'll go, really? Like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I think it is important that any issue that's out there,
Right.
you let it be known, to other people so that other people can get involved, because there is power in numbers.
Right, yes,
I always
yeah.
say that,
I just seen the other day, a girl that I went to school with, she had the same incident that I did. A bus pulled up and said they won't take her. Because, and she's like, why? So she had to get the bus number, the
No,
thing,
yeah.
everything
Yeah,
to
you have to
report
fight,
them.
yeah,
But you shouldn't have to.
Right,
You
right.
shouldn't have to fight just to get a
Exactly,
ride, you know
exactly.
what I mean?
it's a public, and, entity.
If
that
an
you
old
should
lady
be-
can come up on the thing and you kneel down the bus so she can get in, what is
Right,
the difference with
Right,
that?
exactly.
We just need it lowered, we need a ramp, and 2 seconds in,
Right,
that's all it takes.
exactly,
But you wanna make it a big, like, oh, nope, sorry, I don't wanna, oh, catch the next bus.
right,
Literally sent a bus away,
Wow.
told me to catch the next one, and the next one was like, can't do it.
wow,
So it's not just me, and if
Yeah.
you live in a city, they do that all the time.
yeah.
If you try to do an Uber ride,
Mhm.
they deny you rides, and they are
Mhm.
not allowed to do that.
Mhm.
Even if you picked a big van, a big car, and blah, blah, blah. A man that I know, Kenny, he got denied
Right,
for an Uber ride.
right, yeah,
And it says it on your thing, you have to give him a ride.
exactly,
Policies, regulations,
yeah.
you can't discriminate from
exactly.
one person to
Yeah,
another.
exactly.
So
I
tell me
don't-
how
I
is
don't
that
get it.
working?
We're not gonna solve all the
Yeah,
world's
But like,
problems.
people deal with that
Yeah.
for transportation.
Exactly.
Even for housing, I need a bottom floor, oh, sorry, we only have a top.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Well, can you accommodate, can you ask someone, you know what I mean?
Exactly,
Little things will go a long way, but
Yeah.
people don't know how to get them,
yeah,
so,
yeah.
it's hard.
So one of the things that we're trying to do, as we mentioned, we have the self-advocacy group here,
Mhm.
and we also have a peer support
Yes,
group.
yeah.
You encompass all of that, because I think, like, again, you serving as a person that has been through things or a struggle or a challenge, you can tell people
Yeah.
what you did.
Yeah, what
And,
to
and they
expect,
can
yeah.
say, oh, okay, maybe I'll try that.
Yeah.
Also with the self-advocacy movement, teaching them how to advocate for themselves and know what to do. I think the root of self-advocacy or any advocacy is to have a passion
Yeah.
to want that change.
Yes.
And what evidence that you have or what things you can gather to support what you're trying to do. And again, number 2, get other people
Yes,
involved
yeah. We are
to
stronger in
educate.
numbers,
Yep,
yes, and
yep.
it's sad that we have to be in numbers for
Yeah.
it to change.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, one person can try to do it and make a change in their city, and that's great.
Yeah,
But there's also other people that need help as well.
exactly.
And like, that's why the first thing when a bus incident happens, what do? We take a picture, we post it on Facebook,
Right,
rally up, you know
right,
what I mean?
right.
That's what we have to do.
Yeah,
But we can't just be like, hey, let me go to the county office, this guy's denying me a ride.
right.
Oh, fill out paperwork, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. So it's gonna be a lot longer to get something done than social media.
Yeah.
And get the attention there,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I want 2 more things. I want to talk about, if anyone knows Mariya, they would know that her mother was a saint. Because, you are a bit of a daredevil. And I love that about you because I really don't think that there's anything that shows limitations. As she said earlier, you love to try new things.
Yes, yes.
And let's just go there for a little bit. Like, talk about some of the things that may be so outside the box
Oh,
that
yeah.
you enjoy, some of your hobbies.
Okay, I do rock climbing. I
Uh-huh.
like that. I get a little scared when I get to the top because it's really high, but
Okay.
I'm trying to like challenge myself.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? To do better things.
I get scared just watching
Yeah.
something, so.
Me and my friend, we coach wheelchair basketball for the kids, so we do that.
Awesome.
I'm participating in like you said, advocacy things. I try to get more involved with it. So I guess that's a goal for me to get more advocacy stuff.
Right.
Um,
You've done, I know, adaptive sports
yes,
like water skiing. Yeah.
I've done water skiing, and
Yeah.
that is tough to hold on.
Sure, yeah.
Going in 60 miles of
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah, your arms are tired, right?
Yep.
So, I'm doing that. I like doing fundraisers for our company. Anything that gets us out there and people see us. And then now I used to hate when people stared at me and like I usually like look down when I go on the street and stuff because I'm self-conscious.
Sure.
But now I'm learning a little bit like, okay, if they're staring at you, it's not because they're being rude. Most of the time they are, but maybe they want to know. So
Right.
like maybe they never had an interaction.
Right.
So I'll go and be like, hi, you know what I
Right,
mean? How's
right.
it going? But,
Yeah. Do you ever stop and think maybe that people are staring because they admire your confidence or your daredevil abilities?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, like I wouldn't do that.
Right.
Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
sometimes I think you kind of tend to look at the negative, but I
Right,
mean, I think
yes.
if you saw something that you've never seen before,
yeah.
you might look at somebody like, oh my God, did you
Yes.
see that?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and I
and
gotta make sure that's
and it's
in
a
my mind.
positive. It's a
Yes.
positive, and I
Yeah.
think the more things that you try to do
Mhm.
and show people that you're capable of doing it,
Yeah.
the more awe
Yeah.
people have of,
Yes.
like, wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Like one of the things I know early on meeting you,
Mhm.
you had posted a video of you
Snow blow.
snow
Yeah.
blowing, and I'm like, that's amazing. I don't think I've ever snow blown.
Yeah.
You know what I
definitely
mean?
want to try
But I mean, you,
that. Yeah.
that's, it's
Yeah.
strong and you
Yeah.
have to be, I mean, you have amazing
Right,
strength, but,
yeah.
you know, I think that just trying anything
That
that's
was brand
outside
new.
the box,
Yeah, I've
I
never
think
done
that's
that.
wonderful.
Yeah.
One of the things I also see videos of you, if you go on Maria's Facebook.
Mudding, yes.
Yeah, you know, mudding, you do the
Yeah.
mudding, tell us a little bit about
So my
that.
boyfriend bought me an old Jeep, a 2007 Wrangler or whatever, and we modified it.
Right,
So
right.
I can put
So you have hand
controls
control,
in
yeah.
it, so I can drive it, and we take it to the mudding, and like, I love that.
Yeah.
It just gets
That's
me dirty.
amazing,
and
yeah,
I
you
love
just
it.
love it, yeah.
So, yes.
Is it freeing, you
It
know,
is.
like I think
Yeah.
that would be,
I mean, you don't know what
I'm gonna
kind
do
of-
this and I'm
Yeah.
gonna get out of this
Yeah.
jam, you
You're gonna go
know?
into the forest to
Yeah.
get stuck
Yeah.
and then get out.
Exactly, yeah, you
That was
come
the whole
out
motion
filthy.
of it. Yeah. Yeah, so that was very like, I've never done that before.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, my heart was palpitating a lot.
Sure,
and I'm
yeah.
like, am I gonna be okay?
Yeah,
But surrounding yourself with good friends and
Yeah.
knowing that they're gonna help you if you're stuck,
absolutely.
that was a little relief for me.
Yeah.
Like, they will help you.
Yeah.
So that was great. I have a side-by-side for my property.
Right,
So I can do yard work,
Sure,
tools
yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I have hand controls on
that's
that. So
awesome.
that's my favorite.
I
one,
love
'cause
that.
It goes fast.
Oh, yeah, you could
It
go
goes
all
fast.
over your
Yeah.
property, that
Mhm.
would be
I
a
love it.
great idea.
So I'm doing things to like make sure I'm able to take care of my land and my
Mhm.
property.
Mhm.
If I have to adapt it, I obviously do.
Yeah.
And there's resources for getting hand controls, and I like to give that resource out to people too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, you know, not just one place, you don't have to go all the way to Pittsburgh.
Right,
There
right,
is local stuff here.
Okay.
And if you need hand controls, give me a call.
right,
Got a connection.
right, okay.
So,
So let's close our
Yeah.
segment. This was wonderful. Thank you
Thank
very
you for
much
having
for
me.
being
Yeah.
candid and sharing your story and
Yeah.
not to mention your, you know, exceptional, just your strength and
Yeah.
everything else, and I think that's wonderful. What kind of advice would you say, like for somebody, maybe a younger person?
yeah.
You know, what would be the advice to
Mhm.
maybe, if they're feeling, you know, maybe some depression
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something that
Yeah.
they're just not allowing themselves to feel like a belonging?
Yeah.
What could you share as
Sure.
someone?
Not every day is gonna be a great day. Let's
Mhm.
just get that out. But not every day has to be a horrible day. You have to surround yourself with friends and family that know you, that know that, you know, if you're having a bad day, don't like bug her, but at the same time, don't leave her alone either.
Right.
Make sure she's okay.
Right,
But you yourself, if you know you're having a bad mental day or you're just down in the dumps, reach out to people, reach out to a therapist, a
Mhm.
friend, but you have to eventually get what you're feeling out, because I've known for many years that holding grudges, holding hate, holding all this like negativity
Mhm.
really makes you sick.
Yeah.
Physically.
Yeah, it's not
It's
healthy.
made me sick a lot of times,
Mhm.
but once I start talking about it, then it releases this like pressure in your
Sure.
head. There is help out there. There are good people out there. You have to
Mhm.
find the good people. Even if you find bad people,
Mhm.
realizing, hey, this is not a good situation,
Right.
is a good step
Right,
to realize
sure.
that.
Recognizing
Surround
what-
surround yourself with good people that you want around. And don't worry about negative stuff. Negative stuff is always gonna happen. It's just how you handle it
Sure,
that makes you a better person.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
there's
Well, I appreciate, everything that you do here, because you're not only an IL specialist, but you're also, like I said, you run some of the groups,
Mhm.
and you're our media person, you're up front, answering phones, you do everything.
Yeah.
But, just being here, like I said, offering that peer support, that encouragement to other people to learn how to advocate for themselves, to believe in what you believe in,
Yeah.
and also don't be afraid to try anything.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
think that is huge.
Yeah.
And you may need support, and maybe something may not work out the first time that you
Right.
try it,
Right.
but maybe you're the perseverance and
There's
maybe trying
determination.
different things,
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
see where your niche is and
Yeah.
what brings you joy and happiness.
Yeah, and you're not gonna figure out everything in a day.
No,
Trust
not
me
at all.
that.
Not
But
at all.
like you're gonna have to take it with a grain of salt.
Yep.
I think grain of rice sometimes, but
Grain of
just
salt.
one day at a time is what
Yeah.
I like to say. You
Yeah.
know, keep living, keep moving forward,
Absolutely.
and try to be positive. That's all you can do.
All right, well, I thank you
Yeah.
again. We're just gonna close with today and let you know that, again, we will do this every month featuring someone different who will share their story and, how they advocate. We have our wonderful Consumer Appreciation
Yes, coming up.
Picnic in Erie.
The 14th.
That's Friday, the 14th of August, coming up this week. That is at Presque Isle. If you still want to come, please let us know.
Yes.
It's going to be a great day.
Yes.
The other things is, like I said, I think we'll have some more activities coming up in September. I can't believe I'm saying September.
And the garage sale, too.
And then we have the garage
Yeah.
sale on the 22nd and the regatta on the 30th. So it's a very busy month here for the Center for Independent Living.
Yes.
But yeah, if you would like to be a consumer
Yeah.
featured on this segment, we'd love to have you to share your story. And we appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much.
Have a good day.